Hey guys, Mr. James from the Kenai Community Library coming at you with a spooktacular Let's Draw. Since we're in the month of October, I kind of figured what better subject to draw than perhaps the most famous vampire ever, Count Dracula. So I hope you guys are ready to draw a very cartoony, scary drawing. You'll need to grab your pencils, papers, erasers, and let's draw. All right, and we are ready to start drawing our Count Dracula. And with that in mind, you want to have your paper orientated going side to side or horizontal. And we're going to start right in the middle. And we're going to talk about composition along the way. But right here in the middle, we want to put a couple of marks. I'm going to use a thin Sharpie so you can see it at home. But you guys at home can certainly use a pencil for this. Step one, I'm just going to put a mark going maybe about like that, just a little quick gesture mark going to side here, because this is going to be where my Dracula's eyes are going to be on each side of this line, the nose will be down the middle, the mouth, and so I just have a quick little guideline, and you can tell since I put that guideline curved this way that the Dracula is going to be looking this way. So from here, I want to go ahead and I'm going to put a few kind of funny marks here, but I think they'll work out for you guys. I'm going to put just a mark like this, and I want to bring that up just a little bit, right to about right there. And what I want to do is just put a little curve right here, just a curve like that. So I have a curved line, a straight line, a curved line, and another straight line kind of coming up this way. And that is going to be where the brow line connects. So I'm going to just put a nice, mean-looking brow line. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, just space it away just on the other side of this line. And I'm going to give a nice, mean brow line going up this way. So you can see that Dracula's eyes are going to be right in there. I'm sketching here, so it's going to kind of change just a little bit. I'm going to put a little mark right there. You guys can see that. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and get the general shape. Before I do that, I'm just going to put the nose in. So I want to just right here in the middle between these two, I'm going to put a line going down like this. He's going to be fairly cartoony. You can see that we've kind of already got some cartoony looks. And I'm going to put the nose maybe coming over like so, and then going up like that. So it's a curve down, over, curve up. And we'll start to refine that here in a little bit. But there we kind of get an idea of what we're doing. I'm going to put a little mark right here. See how that little dissecting line helps? A little mark right here just to establish where that he's kind of got his fangs popping up from a big underbite kind of thing. So we're going to put a lip right here, maybe curve that over, and this will be his chin. Again, you can see that it's kind of cartoony. Oh, I like this jaw, so we want to do the same thing over here. And I think if I were to curve this over, I might want to do the same thing on this side. Kind of bring that over. So we've got some nice curved look. We've already kind of got a Dracula looking. I'm going to bring this up and over. This is just my sketch, and then I'm going to refine this. And you guys can start with my sketch, like the way I'm doing it here. Right about where those eyes come across, right here is where I want my ear to start. And I'm going to make it kind of pop up like it's pretty pointy there. Just like that. Looks kind of Dracula-esque. And then right here, I'm going to just kind of finish off the head here. So we'll just make it kind of like that. Okay, that's where I wanted to get with my sketch, and that will help me now. I don't know if that helped you guys at all, but if you want, you can either sketch like I did to start, or we can take it step by step now. And what I would do is, now that I have a little bit of a light sketch and I know what I'm doing here, I'm going to take a little bit of a bigger markers here so that you guys can really see it at home. And so step one is, let's just go ahead and establish like this brow line. I'm going to just bring it over and make it darker here. Bring that down. So I like this. Whoop. I'm just making it a little heavier so you guys can see it at home. You can I'm going to go ahead and make his ears a little pointy here. I kind of like that look a lot. And then make this a little, and bring that down. Ooh, I think it does have kind of a nice Dracula look. So there's kind of my Dracula face. But now I'm going to switch to a thinner marker just for some of these other details here. So let's finish that nose first. To do that, I'm going to just bring this, a little line here. I'm going to put a little divot right here because our Dracula is looking kind of mad. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring a nice line curve down, over. And let's finish off this nostril this time. So I'm going to bring this up and bring it down. Maybe a little mark above it. I do like having those marks that come down like so. I'm going to do the same on this other side. So if that mark would have came down, it would have been right about there, just a little mark. Maybe just a little U shape right here. Just like that. Ooh, I think we're starting to get a nice Dracula look. I'm going to put a mark like this. Just like so. You know, to refine it, you could even add just a little bit of, just a couple little marks right here to make it look like it kind of blends just a little bit that way. I think that helped. For the ear, we can just add a nice deal here. It goes down like so, and then it always is a little bit heavier right at the bottom. This is your lobe. It's either an attached lobe, or, which this one is not, or a lobe that's unattached, and this one kind of dangles down like that. So I've got my ear there. I'm going to just bring maybe a little bit of a mark like so. Just a little detail there. Okay, and then for his hair, I think I like the way I did this, but I want to go ahead and add that, they call it a widow's peak right here, so I'm going to add that right there. And it's hitting right down the middle of that first line I drew. Widow's peak there. I'll bring that up and just kind of bring it down to here, close to that brow. Then I'll bring it over and we'll bring it down like so. Ooh, I think it does look like Dracula. So then we're going to bring this over. I have a little kind of, his hair's slicked back, real slick back. I'll use that big marker there to help me get that in place. That's a nice, kind of flattened the top of his head, but I like that look. So there's the general face. Now, a couple little things that we can do. Okay, just to kind of make this look a little more Dracula, we've got our mouth that's kind of nice, big frown, overbite, and we're going to add a fang here. Like that. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. I think that helped right there. You can see it. I'm going to put a little bit of a darkness under this, just as if there's a little bit of a shadow cast under that nose. And I think that'll help. I think that did help a little bit, just to make you realize, okay, there's the nose. Okay, now for the eyes, I want to just add, we're going to pretend that this right here and this are kind of bags under his eyes, but his actual eyes are going to be circles inside here. So I'm going to put a nice circle going up curve over, and I'm going to bring it down and do the same thing over on this side. And I'm going to do that on this side too. It's going to go up and over, and bring that over like that. And you can see that the bags under his eyes really kind of work right there. Okay, so now what we want to do is our eyeball, and I'm going to make it to where he is looking at us. So I'm going to have it come about like so, and put a circle right there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Put a circle kind of right in there. So there's his eyeballs looking at us, but it's not quite Dracula yet. We want to add just a little dot in the middle to give it more of that Dracula look, like that. And maybe I'll just use my little marker. I'm just going to put a little highlight by adding a circle right up here. Right there. Right there. So now we have Dracula with, he's got just a little bitty pupil in there, and his iris is really huge and light colored, and I think that helps. We can add those little details right here where it kind of comes over. I like that. It's his eyelid. We'll just kind of put that in there. And if we wanted to, we can darken this. There are all kinds of things that we can do to kind of darken it and play with it a little bit. I'm just going to put a little notch right here because I think that will help. And we'll leave him kind of cartoony for now. And we might add some shadows here in just a second. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our background. Like I was saying, it's going to be pretty cartoony. And you can see how much we have left here. So what I want to do first is draw that collar that he has. And it's a real nice big cape that we have flowing here. So I'm going to put a curve going this way, and I'm going to pretend it goes right through and pops out right over here and comes back around like this and comes back around like that. So I've got that little curve right here. And then this is going to drop down over here, and this is going to drop down over here. And this will do the same, come right here and go right here, just because he's got that collar there. Now, I want his shoulder to come way up high on this side, like this. And on this side, it's going to drop down low. But he's got nice straight shoulders. Now, I'm going to kind of bring this over and drop this down for Dracula. And I'm going to bring this as if it's kind of coming over and curving this way. You can see that I'm using the whole page here to kind of curve that over. Now there's a couple things we can do. We can add a hand in there, which could be a lot of fun. We have to kind of connect him with a neck in some way, or we can have the cape kind of covering the arms and just add the shirt and maybe a necklace. It's whatever you guys would like to do with yours. But know that there's a lot of darks we haven't added just yet. So we're going to keep this one simple. And I'm going to add the neck right in here. Again, he's kind of cartoony, so there's my neck right there. And I'm going to bring this line over. And then we're going to pretend that the cape comes down this way. We're going to pretend that the cape comes down this way. Like this. And then we want to add a collar right here. So that collar is going to come, it would have gone up and over. So there's all kinds of different things we can do with that little collar. I'm just going to put a little line right here to indicate that there is a collar underneath that. And then I'm just going to put a little mark like this, a little mark, just this little mark right here. And I think Dracula should have a cool kind of Dracula medallion. So we'll add that medallion right here. Maybe we'll make it kind of like a nice circle that just is covered over by this side. And we'll put maybe a ruby in the middle there, some kind of ruby medallion there. And all you have to do for the details here is we can just put a couple little squiggles just to indicate, hey, this is an ornate gold medallion, something like that. And then we can add the chain work, and I'm just going to put little bitty marks to just make it look like a chain going up that way, and there's the Dracula's Medallion. So we want to figure out where his waist goes, and I'm going to kind of put it right about here, right in there, knowing that this will be dark and that this is his shirt, and then we want to just add a line coming down and some buttons. There's a button, there's a button, there's a button. So there's my Dracula there. Maybe another little line coming down this way. That. You can tell I kind of broke up the line a little bit, and that's okay. I think that helps make it look kind of like it's more of a seam than a line. I think that works. Next, it's all about the darks. Before we fill in our darks, I had one more thing I want to talk about. So right now, our Dracula is not in the best composition for the page. That wasn't what we were concerned about, because it's kind of got a lot of space around here. I do like that we have all this negative space of the body. But something real simple that you can do just to add a nice grounded image is to offer some kind of background. And with that in mind, I have this paper plate. I thought it might be fun to add a moon. So I'm just going to put the plate right about here, and we're going to throw in a moon. Now I'm going to start at the curve of the head and just come around my plate. The nice thing about a paper plate is that it's a nice perfect circle. It's a good size for mine. You guys might want to use something smaller, but if you're going to use any kind of drawing material on the edge, you want to make sure it's something disposable. So I put Sharpie marker all around the edge. I would not want to use like a real plate or anything like that. You want to use something that's paper product that you can throw away afterward. And you know what? I like the look of that moon. Now let's go ahead and add our darks. So for the darks here, I'm going to just put my hair is going to be dark, and I'm going to offer a little bit of a shine on that hair just by going like that. I'm just going to leave a little bit of that right there to be light. I'm going to do the same thing over here. This time it's going to be more like on this side and this side, and all of that will be light too. And we'll just fill this in. It's going to take a little bit of time with a pencil, but I think offering that dark helps. And you can see my lines here. You can always just add a few lines coming through just to make it look like hair. Slick back like that, but I like the little shines we added. Now, some areas that you can darken here, you could darken right in here. Make this real nice and dark. I think that helps there, just to add a little bit of shadow right there. It gives our Dracula just a little bit of a menacing look there. Add a little bit of a darker shadow under there, and maybe a little darker shadow there. Okay, that works for me. I like that. Now we have a lot of shadow here. Now for his cape, I want the outside of his cape to be in shadow. So I'm going to add maybe a little shadow underneath his chin here, and right here coming over. All of this is going to be dark, so I'm just going to fill that in, and all of this is going to be nice and dark too. And this is going to take a little bit of time to get that nice darks in there, but it offers good contrast. A little bit easier since I have a marker, so you guys at home will have to spend a little bit of time with either a colored pencil, would look nice, or if you're using markers, you can tell it goes a little bit faster. So I'm curious, as I'm finishing up this Dracula here, who is your favorite monster from literature? Is it Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster? Is it maybe a witch that is in a lot of books? When we talk about like good classic scary literature. Who's your favorite monster? Wolfman? He's been in some good books. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of dark on this side. Oops. A little carried away there. There, and then I'm going to kind of fill this side in. Maybe it's Creature from the Black Lagoon, Medusa. Now your drawings are going to be a little bit smaller, so if you used a colored pencil, it won't take too much to darken that in nicely. And maybe you guys want to add some color to your Dracula. His skin would probably be pretty more pale than anyone else's skin. Dracula's always don't spend a lot of time in the sunlight, I don't think. Okay, so we got our darks in place there. And then the last step is just the jeans, or not the jeans, but the slacks. We're going to fill this in black. And maybe a shadow under that medallion. Like so. There we go. All right, you guys. Well, we have completed our Dracula Let's Draw. I'm very excited to see what you guys came up with. The last step, of course, is just to sign your piece. So I'm going to take a small marker here and just sign it down here on the bottom. And we've talked about this many times, but when you sign your piece, you just want to sign it somewhat discreetly because letters and numbers are very iconic imagery and they can distract from your overall piece. So if you sign your name too big, it can be distracting to the artwork. Hey guys, now that you finished your drawing, I just wanted to make one last suggestion, and that is I went ahead and just filled in the collar of my Dracula to offer better contrast. So I want you guys to try and play around with some of those things. I think I like this better, but it's whatever you guys decide for your drawing. All right, hope to see your drawings. You guys take care. Bye.